on the East Coast, QxStart opportunity meeting. And today we're going to really kind of focus on a couple of real key things real fast. First, as everybody knows, our privacy is definitely under attack each day. And you just cannot turn on a TV, open up your computer screen, look at an online news story without actually seeing this is happening. This is not something that you're just seeing in fringe publications. It's actually happening in USA Today. You're seeing it in MSNBC News, CNN, and so forth. As a matter of fact, here a few months ago, there was an effort by the Senate to introduce a new version of the USA Freedom Act, which would basically kind of tone down what the NSA has been doing. And this has all been kind of brought forth in this post-Snowden world. Well, it didn't take long for that bill to overhaul the NSA to actually die in the Senate. And this is just kind of a series of things that's happening right now. Quite frankly, researchers are uncovering that there's a government spy tool to hack telecoms. We're seeing right now that there are stories out there saying that the U.S. has really become a worse police state than Orwell could have imagined. And last but not least, I'm sure everybody remembers that the protesters that were so visible out there on every news station, that they were doing a protest up there in Chicago. But what's key about this is that the Chicago Police Department, not national federal authorities, but the Chicago Police Department was using a technology called Stingray to actually listen in to the conversations of the protesters out there in the group and to actually get the information off their phones. And how do we know that? There was a hacking group called Anonymous that actually hacked into the Chicago Communications Department, recorded their activities and what they were doing, and actually posted that out there on YouTube for everybody to hear about it. Now, what's really kind of interesting is that Chicago was taking that approach, but yet Illinois, obviously the state that Chicago's in, has gone ahead and made it a felony for citizens to actually record the police when they think the police might be doing something that's out of bounds. Interesting enough. Congress has now jumped onto the bandwagon and passed a bill which grants unlimited access to communication of every American. Folks, this is not something that's been happening years ago. This is in the last few months. This is really evolving right now. But what's even more shocking is the ACLU has published a story out there talking about these Stingray devices and who's got them. And what we're finding out right now is more and more states, not federal agencies, states, local, county officials, police departments, are actually utilizing these for a variety of reasons. There's one other thing you need to understand, too, is the NSA has actually said that any type of encryption is really causing problems for the NSA. Well, we're being told day in and day out that there needs to be additional encryption to protect our credit card data out there. We're seeing that with Home Depot. We're seeing it with Target, everything else. Well, we're also being attacked on the phone. And let me explain this for a minute. All telecoms, all hardware manufacturers actually have to provide a backdoor for the government to be able to listen into. And if our government's listening in, I guarantee you other governments are too as well, or people that have a different motive or a different agenda to actually really do some harm to you. Well, I'm going to jump forward here a little bit. The FISA court, everybody understands what the FISA court is. If the FBI needs to go to the FISA court and actually get a warrant to do something, listen in, something to abuse your Fourth Amendment rights, the FBI, if they don't get that request, they just issue what's called a national security letter to go around it. And last but not least, if you look at the date, it's January 12th, and today we are still in January. We're just a few days away from rolling into February, so this is less than a month old. The FBI says that it doesn't need a warrant to track your cell phone in public. Now, the question is, how do they know it's in public? Well, this next screen will kind of show you here. If you look at the Stingray device the way it is, notice that it's usually a vehicle and it has something that's about the size of a briefcase that's sitting in it. Well, you can't determine from their area that they're pulling from if they're pulling information from someone that's in a public area or a private area. So for them to make that kind of statement is really kind of bizarre. But let me kind of tell you about the solution here. And the solution is Cryptos Communication. Cryptos has developed a product right now that allows you to talk with complete confidence. On us, the phone today right now, or on this, is Stephen Carnes, the developer, innovator, the person who's really come up with this. And let Steve kind of tell you a little about it and what it does. Steve, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Robert.
Great. Okay. And yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you could hear me.
I can. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Yes, as Robert said, we came up with the product. When I say we, it was me and a development team that assisted me with Kryptos back in 2010. So our product has been out there for coming up on 5 years. It is a tried and true and tested application. It's a voice over IP product, which many people may know the term VoIP, stands for voice over IP. And what we do is we digitize the voice stream as you're talking into your phone, which uses our app, Kryptos. It digitizes the voice stream, and then we encode it, or in other terms, encrypt it, before it leaves the handset. And it is a peer-to-peer conversation, which means it's not like it goes across our servers. It actually goes from the person, or from yourself to the person you're talking to, and it goes over the internet. And if you have 3G, 4G, or LTE service, and you're out away from your home, you could actually use Kryptos while traveling in the car. If you are at home or someplace at an internet cafe or a Starbucks, someplace they have internet, it will actively grab onto the Wi-Fi network so that you're not using part of your data plan. So, but you do have to have access to the internet. With that said, the interesting thing is besides smartphones, it will actually work on tablet devices. So it will work on Android phones, Android tablets. It will work on an iPhone, an iPad, or even an iPod Touch. Additionally, if you have an older phone laying around, that, as many of us do, once you do an upgrade, if you don't actually turn your phone in, if you have an old iPhone 3G, or 3, I'm sorry, it will actually work on one that doesn't have service to a cell phone provider. You can actually, if you've got it in your home and have a Wi-Fi, it'll hook right up through that. The encryption that we use is 256-bit AES encryption, and it is the same thing that the military uses. The NSA actually classifies this type of encryption to be good for up to top secret communications. So it is a top-notch encryption. There's actually been some people that do math better than myself that have done estimates as to how long it would take to be able to break this encryption. And they've said that if you take all the computing power that's available in the world today, that'd be the computer at my desk, Robert's desk, all the computers in government, everywhere in the world, if you put it all together, ran them in parallel, it would take 6 times the age of our universe to be able to run all the pairs and keys to be able to break into this encryption. So it's pretty solid stuff. One other thing I'd like to touch on, because there have been people that have actually questioned whether or not, would the government at some point make it illegal to use our product? And the answer is unequivocally no. That would not be something that they would or could do, because the U.S. government actually encourages encryption of data. As Robert said earlier, credit card data, banking data. So because this is nothing more than a third-party application that sits on a smartphone or tablet device, and we're merely encrypting the data, which is the data is the voice stream been digitized. When we speak about the way that ours works, which I've just mentioned, it brings into one other thing into play. Why is it that they have the ability, they being the government, have the ability to listen in and have backdoor onto the regular cell phones? Well, the reason for that is there's a law called CALEA. CALEA is the Communications Assistance Act for Law Enforcement, and what that does, it provides the government the ability to require anybody in the telecommunications industry to have backdoor access. That would be the manufacturers of routers, switching equipment. That would be telecoms themselves, like a Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon. There's actually a provision in it that says if you are a substantial replacement to a telecommunications carrier, that you have to provide a backdoor. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you can dial a landline from a service, such as Skype, for instance, if you have a Skype account, you can actually use it to call somebody on the landline. You could call up Pizza Hut and order a pizza. So they're considered to be a substantial replacement. Therefore, Skype is required to provide a backdoor into their services. And we designed our product with a thought in mind that we wanted to be nothing to do with the telecommunications industry. We are something that you just merely decide to put onto your mobile device if you so choose, and therefore it's not governed underneath that. So with that said, Robert, was there anything additional that I maybe didn't cover without thinking about it?
No, you actually did, and I appreciate that because you know, it's what we did want to talk about is everything we've said here, the PowerPoints, any support files, brochures, you name it, we have it over at QxStart Help, and it's just like it says, QxStart, QxStartHelp.com. We have it over there. But let me kind of get into why people are doing this right now, because obviously we have people that are building teams of folks out there that are starting to make some really exciting money. In fact, today's Tuesday, and everybody got paid today for the work they did last week. So it's really kind of a quick way to make that happen. Well, let's kind of talk about how that works real quick. QxStart is really focused on bringing the masses encryption that they can actually start protecting their conversation, talking with confidence. I really kind of like that slogan. Steve's once really coined that, talking with confidence. But we have 3 levels of participation. We have a bronze, silver, and a gold. And essentially that's a $30, $60, and $100. And what does that mean? Each crypto's code for a 30-day usage is $10. So at a bronze, you get 3 codes, because to talk to someone, another person has to have cryptos on their phone, iPad, or device. So you might want to have a second account open there so you could talk to someone and say, hey, go download the app on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store, and here is the ID code and password, and then let's have a conversation, because some things that we want to discuss right now, I really don't need a foreign government picking up on it. I really don't need a competitor picking up on it. I don't need someone listening in and getting the wrong impression about what I'm saying. So it allows you to do that. But on those 3 levels of participation, you can basically decide where you want to be at. You know, what do you want to earn? How much time do you want to put into it? And everything else is really going to be your choice and your decision. Because QxStart has several different bonus levels in here. And what I'm going to do on this next screen is I'm going to kind of bring it together really fast for you. So on this next screen, real simply, everybody starts for free. You can sign up, and you can get out there and you can sell products, and you can earn 20% of whatever it is you sell. But most people really want to kind of supercharge it and use the power of the group. So we're going to talk about this right now, which is a 2x3 force matrix with 6 bonus levels. And let me explain how that works real quickly. Just like we were saying, on the bronze level, you can get started and you can get a website that allows you to help market all this, and that's $49 for the year. So $30 and $49, $79 is how you could get started right now. And anybody that falls within your matrix underneath, based on your sponsorship level on the side, is what you can earn. Well, that sounds really good, but what if I went ahead and I went to silver? It's a little bit more money, and as you look there, you make a little bit more money. Well, let's take it to gold here for a second, because I want to focus on a real important number, and that is looking over at level B, 6 people. If you have 6 people personally sponsoring their gold and you are gold, then guess what? You no longer are paying a monthly fee for your crypto's codes. That's right. You're absolutely getting a 10-pack given to you every month, and you're also, as your matrix starts to fill out, you have a possibility of earning up to $32,000. Well, that sounds pretty exciting. Well, Cryptos and QxStart have been working very diligently to also put together some additional bonuses. The additional bonuses is if you in your first 30 days of signing up can go ahead and bring 10 people on that are gold. Well, instead of that $4 rate, it's actually going to be a $5 rate. If you can do that a second 30 days in a row, then that's going to turn into $6. So now looking at that same level, you know, all things being equal, the amount of people that would fall into that level, that would change your earnings from 32 potential to 49 potential. It really changes up the whole dynamic there. Well, this next screen right now, this has been made permanent when you sign somebody up that is brand new and they get in and they have they're a gold member and they're signing up for their yearly website fee internet, so it's $149. We take half of the $100 fee, the product cost, and we give that back to you immediately the very next week. So there's a lot of people that signed up last week, and the people that got them in this week, today, actually received the money for it. That's pretty exciting. Well, on the screen we say this is now good until January 31st. I promise you this screen is going to be gone because we've been so busy we haven't had a chance to change it out, but this is now a permanent bonus now that's going to be there. So quite simply, this is really a very exciting time for everybody. This call today was just meant to be a real quick opportunity call. So someone has invited you on here to hear a little more about it. Get back with them. Ask some questions. If you need to do a three-way with one of us, we're more than happy to do that. But right now, we are building a big team. The people that are on here are building a big team, and we would sure like you to join us. So again, we want to thank everybody for coming, and we're going to go ahead and end the call right now. Thank you very much.